Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting, and you may have found me either from my blog post of a project that I'm doing today, or maybe you found me on YouTube. If you've not subscribed and you'd like to see paper crafting projects, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell to be notified, and you can subscribe to my blog as well. There is a link to this project in the description bar, and today I'm taking part in a blog hop with the other crafters as part of the Inspire Inc. Blog group. So please make sure that you not only look at my blog, but then follow the hop and go and see some of the other projects that are part of this blog hop. So this is what I've got. It's a theatre fold card. It sits like that. And I mean, you can really go to town and decorate this. This isn't anything that I've invented. I'd never come across it until very recently, the last couple of days. And I've seen that actually there are quite a lot of them on YouTube and on Pinterest. I saw that Anne Melvin from Positively Papercraft has done it. A lady called Sarah Nevin, who's in the States, she's done it. Bruno Bertucci, he's done one as well. They're the only ones that I've come across so far, but I know that there are others. There is a proper name for it. I'm calling it a theatre fold card, and I just love the drama with it. It's just lovely, and it sits. It just will sit on a shelf or a mantelpiece like that. So you can just let your imagination go wild, and this is far easier to make than I thought it was going to be. So you can, I have seen somebody do this where they put a little shelf inside and they put images on that. So obviously that's something a little bit more complicated, but I could see that the whole thing just wasn't working brilliantly. So I just thought I'd stick to something nice and easy. And I like to aspire to people who are beginner crafters or are kind of moving up to the next level. So this is something that, if you've been crafting perhaps a little while and you want to move up to something a little bit more difficult, this is perfect for that. So let me show you how to make it. This, I'm using the Artistry in Blooms DSP. So the theme of our blog hop is fun fold or fancy fold. So I'm using Artistry in Bloom, which is absolutely beautiful paper. Loads and loads of colour in it. So you're not restricted to certain colours, but these are mainly bright. So we've got Mango Melody in there. We've got Melon Mambo in there. There are some bright yellows as well, so that's probably Daffodil Delight in there. So lots of beautiful, bright, vibrant colours. There's Rich Razzleberry and Blackberry Bliss, and it's Blackberry Bliss that I'm going to use today. So I'll show you how to do it. It is super, super simple. You need 4 pieces of card that measure 6 inches by 4 1/8. So by having that size means, because it all folds flat, you'll see here, it all folds flat and will fit in a card, not in a card, in an envelope. So that's why we go for 6 by 4 1/8. So you need 4 of those. There's 1 for the back, then you've got 2 for the curtains, and then you've got 1 for the front. You then need a piece of DSP, and this measures 4 inches by 5 7/8, and that's going to sit on there. We'll stick that on in a minute. That's going to stick on one of your panels. And then you want something as well that's, you can go contrasting if you want to, but this is what's going to sit in the middle as you open up your theatre curtains and at the side, kind of on the wings. Okay, so you need something that goes with it, and it's totally up to you how you want to do it. Just bear in mind, if you want to decorate any more of these side bits, they have got to go in and out of that mechanism. So I left mine alone. I didn't do too much with them. You also need 2 strips of, so this is Blackberry Bliss, and these are 1 inch by 5/8 of an, 1 inch by 5 1/8 of an inch. So let's make a start on this. Let's put those to one side. So I'm going to start off with one of those panels. This is my front panel. Now on this one, you'll see that I've used an oval, and this is using the stitch shape dies. You could cut out a square. If you've got dies that could cut out a rectangle, you could do a big circle, but dies do that. If not, then you could cut out a rectangle, whatever size you want, as long as it's not too big. Cut out a rectangle, perhaps using a craft knife if you don't have dies. So let's get these on here. I'll try not to talk too much now, but I do get lots of comments from people who watch my videos saying that they're actually grateful that I don't speed my way through it. So if you're watching this thinking, oh, get on with it, love, actually, you know, you can kind of skip through things if you want to. All of the measurements are on the blog. And my glue is gummed up, just to make you wait even longer. Oh, right. Let me pause and sort this out. Well, that took ages to sort out, and it was all kind of stuck at the top. And it's not that I'd left the glue out with the lid on, not with the lid off, not at all. But now I've got this nice little splodgy bit here. Fantastic. Never mind. We will plod on. So I'm going to put that on there just to have a little bit of a border all the way around. I'm going to be very careful that that is going to splodge out. And I'm going to let that dry. I do want to put that through the die cutting machine and take the oval out, but I would rather wait a minute or two for that glue just to go off a little bit. In the meantime, let me show you what I'm going to do with these. So the back piece, we just leave like that for now. I'm not going to do anything with that. These are our curtains. So with your, either with your scoreboard or with your paper trimmer, you are going to score these at 3 inches and 4.5 inches. My fingers are all gummed up. And then this one as well will be 3 inches by 4.5 inches. They're at 3 inches because that is half of the width of that. So if you're going to scale this up, then you need to scale up your measurements here as well. So bone folder. And we're just going to fold and burnish those. Nice crisp folds on there is really going to help. Same with the other one. Okay, so they are going to sit like that and like that. So we'll put those on the back. So there's the back, that's the one that we've not touched. So if you're looking at it like that, this piece you're going to put some glue on and then you're going to stick it. No, you're not. You're going to put glue on that bit there and you're going to stick it down, because what you want, once all this folds, is for it to sit like that. So if you were to put your piece of cardstock with the score lines facing downwards like that, you're going to put that on there like that. And you'll do the same with this, put that on there like that. So let me show you. I'm not going to do it off camera, I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to lay that on top there, and just while that glue is wet, I'm going to pick it up and then just make sure that those edges match. Oops. So you've just got a minute probably, if that, to do that, just to make sure that it all matches. So that's that side. And then we'll do the same with this one. So you just need a second just to check that you've got it at the wrong side. Always take that extra couple of seconds just to check. Otherwise you'll be cutting it all out again, and if you've used the last of your cardstock, you're going to be really cross with yourself. So don't get cross with yourself, just take a second to check. So again, lay that there. My goodness, can you hear that? Seagulls. I don't live anywhere near the sea. I live about 45 miles from the sea. I don't know where they've come from. Perhaps there's some bad weather somewhere and they've come inland. So just to get those raw edges matching, just give it a minute just to go off, and then we're just going to push that down. So we've got that. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, and we might as well do that while we're here. So the DSP panels that we had, that we cut at 2 7/8 by 4, I'm going to put those in there like that. So they're going to go like that. You can put some here as well if you want to. Let me check the measurement of that for you. I haven't, I didn't, but you could. You would have some panels that measure probably 1.5 by 4. So 1.5 by 4 inches if you want to put panels in here, but I haven't. And you can absolutely go to town on this as as much as you want. Stick extra bits. You'll see when I start to add other little bits to this as we get nearer to the end of the project, you'll be able to I can imagine you'll let your imagination run wild and stick all sorts of things to it. So we'll have a panel there. Oh, I nearly dropped it and got covered in glue. Just going to check I've got that the right way up. I have. I like the slight contrast in this. Now, just at the moment, I'm not going to decorate this anymore because I'm going to die cut an oval out of my front piece. And then I'm going to use that oval. I'm not going to waste it. Got a glue problem again. I've just had to give my glue a bit of a talking to because it's mucking about. So it's been thoroughly told off now, so got some glue on the back of that. So we've got that. So I'll put that to one side now to dry and we'll go back to the front of the card. What an amazing backdrop. Doesn't that look amazing? Right, so we've got this, and I've got from the stitched shape dies, I've put my die down, there it is, and I'm going to put that in the middle and I'm going to die cut it out. My Big Shot, my die cutting machine is over there, and I'm not bringing it here because it doesn't fit, it's a bit of a beast and it just gets in the way, so I'm going to die cut that out. So I've die cut my oval out of that and I'm going to put that in here like that. But that's not all I'm going to do. So let's just stick that to the back of the card. Get that there so it's pretty much in the middle. And then how you continue to decorate this is entirely up to you. So I've got lots of punches. You know that I love punches. And I'm going to take the heart punch, or the heart duo punch, and I'm going to get some Blackberry Bliss. Now the scalloped punch is ever so slightly bigger than the plain punch. So we'll have one of those. I'm going to put that there. I love this colour. It's so rich. And then with the plain punch, I'm going to get, I've put it down, I want to find some more of this DSP, there it is. And I'm going to cut out this here because it will match, it will go with it, but it's just slightly lighter. Oh, I've got stuff everywhere. And I'm going to mount that on there with stamping dimensionals, mini stamping dimensionals. So I've got those here. Let's get one in the middle. And I'm just going to pop that on the top there, get that bit of glue off. Put that there like that. Now also with that DSP, and I've got another punch, I've got the butterfly duet punch. And I'm going to punch out a few of these little butterflies, but in the slightly darker. That's what I like about this paper. You can go, you've got darker shades of everything. I'm just going to do 4 for now. I won't use all 4 because there won't be enough room for everything. So I'm just going to stick a couple of these butterflies on here. Got some of the darker ones. I'm not going to stick them on yet because there's something else I'm going to do. Now I need to find some lighter, I need to stamp on this, and I'm going to find some of the lighter, there we go. So we've got this, and I'm going to use, I don't know if this is going to clash, we're going to try it. I'm going to stamp Melon Mambo on here using from Itty Bitty Birthdays, this birthday wishes sentiment. And somewhere on my very messy desk, I've got my ink block with the sentiment on it. So I've got that on my stamp pad. Now it may be, oh no, I'll tell you what I'm going to, oh I don't know now. I'm going to test it. I'm going to do it once with Melon Mambo, see what that looks like. And then again with Blackberry Bliss. I like that. I'm not even going to try it with Blackberry Bliss. I like that. And I've got another punch. I've got the classic label punch. Now, you don't have to use all of these punches, okay? I'm just showing you what everything does. You know, you can do this with whatever shapes you like. Now, this birthday wishes just fits in here. And then when I say just, I mean just to the point where it's a little bit tight, trying to get it to fit. There we are. Let's punch that out. And I'm going to put that across there. I did at first want to kind of do it diagonal, and then I didn't like it, so I'll just stick to what I know. A couple of dimensionals in the middle there. And get that in the middle. And then I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of each of these little butterflies. And then we are ready to put this into the middle of our card, and we're almost ready to actually get this finished. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'm just going to put glue on the back. Right, glue, you better behave yourself. Oh, and you're not going to. Oh, it will. It didn't want another talking to. And I'm going to put that in there like that. I'm just going to use my bone folder just to stick that down. There we are, we have that. Now we get in there, we're getting somewhere. Let's get back. So there we've got our oval in the front of the card. This is where we need our 2 strips. So with the first one, place it centrally. So you've got an even amount of space overlapping. hold on to it and then fold it over. Hold on to that there without moving the other one and fold it over. So you have that. And you'll do the same with the other one. My little schmooze of glue came out there. Equal amount hanging over. Fold it over. Fold it over again. And then what you're going to do, when you've got this, is that you're going to stick that, let me show you, you're going to stick that to either end. So that's what you're looking at. So you've got those bits that you've folded over, and they are going to stick with the fold to the edge of the card like that. I hope you can see that. Now you can use tear and tape for this if you want, because this liquid glue does tend to schmooze out a little bit. So just take your time with it, and it's schmoozed out. You just need to hold it down for a couple of seconds. And then once you've got that down, leave it. Don't do anything else with it until it's properly dried, because we're going to put a little bit of stress on this in a minute. So there's those two. And then we'll fit these two on. You're being really patient with me if you're sticking with this and if you've been watching this in real time. I sometimes watch other crafters as well, and it can be quite relaxing just sitting watching them do all the work. I don't watch as many crafters as I would like, just because I don't have an awful lot of spare time to do it. But when I do, I just find it a really nice therapeutic thing to do, especially if they've got a nice voice. So we're going to stick that down like that and hold on to it, and then my advice would be is to let it dry off. And I'm just going to take my schmooses off. And I'm going to put that to one side to dry. So while that's still drying off, I just want to put a little bit of decoration on here, and this is where you can just do whatever you want. But let me show you what I've been doing with these. So I've just punched out some more of those butterflies, and I'm just going to put them around the outside of this oval just to give it a little bit more interest. You can do the little butterflies like that, and we can get the bigger butterfly and I need to find my DSP. Where's that gone? Over here. So I'm going to get the lighter ones, and then I'm just going to punch out to each of those. But like I say, this is entirely up to you what you do with these. But we are providing a little bit of theatre for this card. This is a great card for, I think, if you're going down this kind of feminine looking route, then this is nice for a Mother's Day card. Or you can make a Christmas card out of it. If you're going to, sometimes I send special cards to family and things. So this would make a nice special Christmas card as well. You could have a little bit of perhaps a bit of a nativity scene inside, or a bit of a snowy scene. So I've just done that. You could just do a whole lot more with that. So let's just now finish putting it together. Hooray, I can hear you say. So we've got this bit and we've got this bit. So this is where it gets a bit tricky. So this bit of the card, got a little splodge of glue there. This bit of the card, you're going to put, can you see that in there? Now, you would wait for your card to go off completely, for that glue to go off completely, but just slip that inside. Okay, so just slip that in there. Mine is a little bit on the sticky side because I should really leave it longer before I put that in there. So that just goes in there like that, and then this one slots through the other one. It's a little bit of a fight. One thing that I would rather not be doing on camera, but I need to show you because I'd probably swear at it a little bit, have a few words with it. I think I'm going to have to just trim this very slightly. Sometimes it is a little bit of a squeeze. And the best thing to do is just to take the smidgiest of smidges off. Just that top bit there, just this bit, not the whole length of it. If you have, when you were trimming your paper, if it was just the slightest bit off, it will really make a difference in trying to squeeze it in. But it's fine, you just trim it, that's all. So I don't think I'm going to need to have a word with this one. The other one I made, this just went together quickly, but of course the one that you do on camera is the one where it's a little bit of a fight. Get in there, there we are. Just tell it who's boss. So when you fold it in like that, it folds flat. And the other thing that I did is just to burnish again, just to make sure that everything is nice and tight. And then let me show you. Oh, I'll tell you what I've missed. Darn it, I'll tell you what I've missed. If you just push those out with the 1.5 inch circle punch, so make sure your curtain is out of the way, and all of those layers there, just come in a teeny tiny bit, make sure it's central, and clip that out, and that just whacked me in the face. So maybe do a little risk assessment and wear protective eye goggles before you do this. I'll move that curtain out of the way and through all of those layers there. Good job I wear glasses. That literally flew right over my head. So push that back through there. That through there, so when it opens up, open it up like that. And there you have it. This one needs trimming very slightly. And it's a bit sticky with the glue. But that's what happens when it opens up. And it can sit on a shelf or a mantelpiece like that. And it's just that little bit of theatre there. So there is my theatre fun fold card for you. Thank you ever so much for sticking with me for half an hour. I really appreciate that. And hit the subscribe button if you want to come and see some further projects that I've made. So thanks again. See you soon. Bye bye.